So there's a moment in this film where this bloke eats his packed lunch. A nice little sando, lettuce, tomato, the works. Nothing scary about a sandwich, right? Except the meat in this sandwich is his dead cat. And he just keeps chewing. And here's the kicker. That's maybe the third most unhinged thing that happens in Obsession. Stick around because the top two are so much worse. Oh, and this little $1 million horror flick, it's currently kicking Mando and Grogu's ass at the box office. G'day viewers and welcome to the Hollywood Menace. Now viewers, I've been worried about the Blumhouse brand for quite some time now. Jason Blum built an empire on horror, tiny budgets, and big scares. Insidious, Paranormal Activity, The Purge. And then somewhere along the way, they forgot that recipe. Well, Obsession is them remembering. And there's a dirty little secret to why this film is absolutely printing money, and I'll get to that. But first, you need to meet the four people whose lives this movie absolutely demolishes. Four friends, all working at a local music shop, all hanging out after hours like the friend group you had in your 20s before everyone got mortgages and then buggered off. Bear is head over heels for Nikki. The problem? Nikki has filed him under friend, stamped, sealed, shredded. He just doesn't know it yet. Meanwhile, poor Sarah has feelings for Bear, who's so obsessed with Nikki, he wouldn't notice Sarah if she turned up wearing a sandwich board. And then there's Ian, who, surprise, has secretly been hooking up with Nikki on and off for 2 years. 2 years! These four have more cross wires than an Aussie soap opera. So lovesick Bear walks into a dodgy little spiritual shop and buys a strange trinket, a Wish Willow. Snap it, get one wish. And one frustrated night, he snaps it and wishes for Nikki to love him more than anyone in the world. Oh, mate, because she's about to love him to death. Okay, viewers, now back to that dirty little secret I promised you earlier. Here's why this film matters beyond the scares. They spent only $1 million on the budget. They're on pace to make $120 million plus. That's not a profit margin. That's a bloody heist. 120x return? That is the exact magic a disciplined, low-budget horror film can conjure when you keep the checkbook on a short leash. This is Blumhouse going back to what works. A cracking premise, tight execution, and actors who can actually act instead of wandering off in the wilderness where overfunded horror films go to lose money. And the market agrees. A $1 million wish gone wrong is stomping all over Disney's Space Cowboy and his little green gremlin. So how does it actually go off the rails? Funny you should ask. Now, viewers, I'm going to be straight with you. The film leans on the classic horror toolkit. Jump scares, creepy faces, unnatural movements as Nikki descends from quirky love interest into a full-blown bloody nightmare. And yes, we get the mandatory puke scene here, because apparently it's now written into film law that every single movie must include one Technicolor yawn or it doesn't qualify for distribution. But credit where it's due, there's a genuinely cheeky throwback to the original Exorcist in this movie. A lovely little nod to a film that kicked the whole genre into legend. This is a movie that knows its lineage. And yes, viewers, then it stretches reality. There's a reveal that Nikki has been standing in her own piss and filth all day, just waiting for Bear to come home. And I'm sitting there going, mate, that is not a she's a keeper situation. That's a let's get a professional involved situation. Now, viewers, remember that sandwich from the start of this video? Here's the context. Bear's cat dies early on. So obsessed Nikki, being the romantic that she is, builds the poor thing a little memorial shrine. Sweet, right? And then she serves Bear the dead cat for lunch. A CLT. Cat, lettuce, tomato. And Bear just keeps going. And look, I get it. Nikki's magnetic, but I'm sorry. There is not enough good sex in the entire universe to make me stick around after the cat Sando. That's the point where I'm calling the lawyer and the exorcist. Same phone call. But viewers, here's where this film earns its keep. The death of Sarah. Now, I'm not going to spoil the mechanics here, but it's handled brilliantly. Shocking, violent, brutal. It lands like a punch to the gut. And it's the moment Obsession stops messing about. And this is where I tip my hat. Obsession is a proper R-rated horror film. Not one of these nuded PG-13 Blumhouse efforts where the scariest thing that happens is a slightly ajar cupboard. I know an R rating costs you box office. I get it. I understand that's costing you ducats here. But I'd never make a PG-13 horror film. Never. If you're going to scare me, commit. And this film commits. All right, boys and girls, now let's talk about the beating heart of this whole thing. The standout performance. Nikki, played by Inde Navarrette. This movie rests on her shoulders completely. The whole thing. In a lesser actor's hands, Obsession is dead on arrival. A silly little Wish premise that collapses under its own weight. But Navarrette is magnetic. She's playing across an enormous emotional range and essentially playing two roles here. The obsessed, wish-warped Nikki and the real Nikki trapped underneath trying to claw out. And these are the best scenes in the movie. The moments the real Nikki fights through to the surface, even if it's just for a heartbeat. The finale especially, where she has to swing from an all-consuming obsession to that final devastating moment of breaking free as Bear dies. That's a genuine acting showcase. Watch this one. She's got it. Now, Obsession is tight, well-paced, doesn't muck about. The score does its job without screaming, "Be scared now," viewers, in your ear. And Curry Baker's direction is clean and confident, servicing the story instead of showing off. He understood the assignment. So, my final verdict, I'm rating Obsession a succulent cinematic meal. Worth the big screen, worth a few good mates going, no agenda nonsense, no lecturing, just a film that rolls up its sleeves and gets on with entertaining us. And at a lean 1 hour and 48 minutes, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Gets in, does the damage, gets out. Beautiful. And based on the box office numbers, I'd bet my last dollar the sequel's already been greenlit. So congratulations to Blumhouse for creating yet another horror franchise. If you've liked what you heard, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment below. It really helps the channel claw up the algorithm. This is the Hollywood Menace. Thanks for stopping by and listening. Until next time, ta-ta and farewell.